I just came across this really amazing text by Ra in one of the base lectures. These type of lectures are you're always going to be discouraged from, and people are always going to say, oh, it's too complicated or it's not necessary. You don't need to know the basis. And while, yeah, I could agree, you don't need to know the basis, but there's just so many gems when it comes to quotes around these particular themes, because you know how Ra is. When Ra starts a lecture, he very often goes in a completely different direction, gets distracted by a thought or something, and then ends up talking about something that he did not intend at all. So I find a lot of great stuff in these types of transcripts and audios and books. Ra said that as a 5-1, he was here to call out the collective. So he understood that in order to grow human design, in order to grow his audience and his income, of course, he needed to spread the word. He needed to spread it in ways that are more simple, because something that is simplified spreads faster. When he started teaching human design, he started from the beginning of the universe, the origins, the crystals of consciousness. And a lot of these seasoned, teachers, they even admit that they didn't understand a thing. They got certified in all of these courses, but they didn't understand what it was talked about at all. And so he knew that in order to gather more people around himself, he needed to simplify this. So there was an agenda. This was a strategy. He came up with strategy and authority, and it spread. And it's still spreading because it's such simple information. And he says something that I find quite offensive, that, well, it's not because human design people are not intelligent, which just implies the opposite, that we cannot possibly understand what he's talking about, or the majority. And so he needed to simplify it because, according to him, the way you move things through your fractal line, I don't want to say originally, but mostly he talks about when you're correct, whatever you say, it will be taken by the people who are correct for you. But now he talks about fractals as everyone's on your fractal. There is first generation, 10 generation fractals. And so it really doesn't matter. Whoever comes your way is probably on your fractal in one way or another. And he says that if you want your word to spread, you need to simplify it. So it's basically manipulation. He says that is where strategy and authority were born from. They were not just the tools for living correctly, but universal entry points. And that is the important thing. They were your recruiting tools. They were how you were recruited. They were information that was distilled and simplified because this way it would spread faster. It would bring more people in. And it was no longer about the truth, but about the truth of what this knowledge is about. It was not about teaching the knowledge. It was suddenly about creating a system that will pull in the masses. Even though on so many occasions I've read him saying that human design is not for the collective, it's for an individual. And that is what he teaches us, but it's not what he did himself. That's why today there's so much fear, there's so much insecurity among us teachers, analysts, to promote our services. Can we ask for money? Oh my God, I'm a projector. I should not sell anything. There's been so many fears that were created through the creation of this system, of this hierarchy, of this caste system. He said that we can see in the world how easy it is to spread simple messages. If you just watch TV today and somebody says, oh, this person who's speaking, they are politically right-oriented, you will immediately have an opinion. You will either judge them or you will love them for it. And it won't in any more matter what is underneath that. We don't even need to look at nuances anymore. Tesla can be the best car in the world, but we don't like it anymore because it's associated with a guy who is right-oriented, whatever. I am not political at all, but there is this YouTuber that I really enjoy watching. She is a conservative YouTuber, and her name is Candace Owens, and it's not about her political videos. What I really enjoy for her is the investigations. So she did this video series on a Macron family, and the one that really, really fascinated me was on Harvey Weinstein. How we were all served this simplified information. This man is evil, he's a rapist, he's an exploiter of women. And that was enough for all of us to have our opinions set on him. But she went really deep into court records, interviewing him, looking into all information that she could find. And I was just so fascinated how many lies were served through such simplified statements. Like the whole world is turned against this guy without even like giving him a chance, in a sense, without even trying to find out if there is something more to that. And I just am now convinced that this guy is not guilty of the crimes that he's been put in jail for a long time. I think it was over 20 years now, his sentence. And it's insane what the power of simplified word can do, how it can affect, how it can ruin your entire life. And Ross says it's the same thing with everything else, or left, right, this is a friend, this is the enemy, God, no God. They're all just dumbed down concepts, but they're powerful because they're simple, and that is exactly how homogenization works. The world is too noisy, and so simplicity is what cuts through, what stays, what is allowed, what we hear clearly, and what we spread. So strategy and authority are not tools for awareness. They are simplified terms that are used to market and transmit human design into the world, to the collective, which it was not even for.